guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new or simply not yet subscribed, I'm Brittany, and definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button. Before we dive in, I just want to remind you guys of the mystery box giveaway. Drawing will be held on Halloween. All you have to do to enter is like the video, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below what you are going to be for Halloween. And you can enter on every video that I upload during the month of October. So go ahead and enter, and let's dive in. So today we're going to be diving into one of the most haunted hotels in the United States, and that is the Crescent Hotel. Arkansas is famous for its hot springs that are said to have healing properties, but located on top of the mountains overlooking Eureka Hot Springs lies the Crescent Hotel. This hotel was a place where the wealthy would go to escape life and simply just enjoy the healing properties of the springs back in 1886. The hotel had 78 rooms that were spread across 4 floors, so it's pretty large. However, the Crescent Hotel would go into financial disarray and have to close their doors. Between 1908 and 1924, the hotel would be turned into a college. It was Crescent College and Conservatory for young women. During this time, there was a tragic accident. One of the students fell from the window and died. However, this wasn't the first accident of this type. The first one had happened during the building of the hotel, when a stonemason named Michael had a similar accident, and his spirit is said to still be seen in room 218, the same room where he fell. After the college closed, it was reopened in 1930 as a junior college. That college closed in 1934, and then it became a summer hotel, which ended up closing. Other businesses tried operating in the building, and none of them succeeded. In 1937, there was a man by the name of Norman Baker. Horrible man. And he decided to open a hospital and health spa for cancer patients. Baker claimed to have a cure for cancer. He also take it a step further and would knock organized medicine, saying that they were just profit driven and they were completely corrupt. He had 0 medical education and was essentially just scamming people. He was targeting people that were at their lowest and would try anything to feel better, to be better. It's just disgusting. He had previously been practicing medicine in Iowa without a license, and when he was discovered is when he fled to Arkansas. So he succeeded in his con by attracting dozens of patients by advertising miraculous treatments. I mean, keep in mind that these patients were diagnosed with cancer. Like, the patients that were going to him were on their last leg. Instead of maybe putting in that effort to do something that might have actually made a difference, they were doing this because they wanted to, because he promised them. He promised them that he could cure them. Baker's elixir consisted of watermelon seeds, corn silk, and clover. And he only let in patients that had no close relatives. That way, basically, when they passed, he got off scot-free. Or when something wasn't working or something wasn't humane, there was nobody to call him out. He promised the patients that if they weren't cured within 6 weeks, that they would have all of their money back and that they wouldn't have to pay. Baker's exams consisted of pitching and looking at the patients. His treatments, however, were horrendous. He would literally torture his patients and ejected elixir through a hole in their skull. He would also isolate the ones who were suffering in a special wing known as the psychiatric ward. So if other patients were like, oh my gosh, like, why are they in so much pain. He'd be like, no, they're not in pain. They're just mentally going crazy. Like it has nothing to do with what I'm doing. He wanted to kind of hide them so that the other patients would still pay him, would still be part of this. There were several authorities and several doctors who were trying to stop Baker, but somehow he always managed to get away with it. He was finally arrested for mail fraud and imprisoned for 4 years. So doing all of these horrendous acts and torturing people and, you know, practicing without a medical license and literally killing people, he only got 4 years because they couldn't catch him on any of that. Like, these people were giving him permission to do these things. So there's only so much, and he was finally caught for mail fraud of all things. After the hospital was closed, the building was abandoned for several years. It would end up being purchased in 1946 by John R. Constantine, Herbert Byfield, Herbert Shutter, and Dwight Nichols. They wanted to restore the hotel to its former glory. However, their plan didn't come to fruition because on March 15th, 1967, the hotel was almost burned to the ground. It was vacant for almost 30 years, and then in 1997, the property was bought by Marty and Elise Roenick for $1.5 million. They spent 6 years renovating it and decided to reopen it as a hotel. The hotel would even embrace its reputation for being haunted. There's also resident cats at the hotel that's dubbed the Crescent cats, but it wasn't until 1973 when hotel records talk of an orange tabby named Morris that walked in and never left. Morris has become a fixture for the Crescent and is even referred to as the general manager. He was loved immensely by hotel employees and guests. And when he passed away, more than 300 people attended his services and wake, and he was buried on the property of the Crescent. Guests who don't know about Morris will report a loose cat fitting Morris's description. Mediums have went to the hospital and they say that there is a portal in the Crescent. The Crescent is also built on massive 18-inch thick stones made out of limestone, which could lead to more paranormal activity. It's believed that limestone has a special ability to absorb and release electromagnetic and psychic energies. There is said to be a dark figure that hangs out in the morgue, which is obviously not a current morgue, of the former morgue of when it was a hospital. And people will feel like they're being physically touched by unseen hands. It's said that more than 40 people have died in the building when it was this hospital retreat. In 2019, over 400 bottles with human tissues and tumors were found buried in the hotel's backyard, as well as jars containing Baker's secret formula. People will often report seeing ghosts of doctors, patients, nurses, and pets. Dora is one of those spirits, and she was a cancer patient. She's often seen fumbling for her keys outside of room 419 and is also known to tidy up for guests after they leave. Becky, who is a 4-year-old child of Richard and Mary, he had passed in the hotel due to appendicitis, which I cannot imagine losing your child. He's often seen in places around the hotel, usually playing with a ball. Dr. John Fremont Ellis, who was the hotel's in-house doctor in the late 19th century, is also seen mostly in room 12, which used to be his office. And if he's not seen, guests will report smelling his cherry pipe tobacco. There's also this reoccurring phenomena that happens on the 3rd floor in this one specific spot. And this is where the hotel connects to the annex that was built onto the hotel when it was a hospital. Numerous guests have grown faint and some have even lost consciousness for a few brief moments. Guests will turn pale, fall along the wall, and then slowly slide down. And even though when they pass out, it's so quick, when they come to, they feel completely fine. There's also been a full body apparition that was said to have been caught on camera. And this was with the help of a laser grid. A laser grid will create pinpoints so that if something is blocking those pinpoints, it kind of means that there's somebody there. Kind of like if you step in front of a light. The picture was taken during an investigation in the Crystal dining room. And there's also been a figure that has been frequently reported sitting in the window of this room. Let me know if you guys have ever been to the Crescent and had any experiences. If you have had any paranormal experiences in general and you want to share them with me, you can go ahead and email me at brittanybriereghosts@gmail.com. I would love to hear them. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and until tomorrow, adios. Bye.